Hello, my name is Rich Norman. I'm here to bring you some very good news concerning our human future. You may have wondered why humanity is in the trouble it is. So very familiar. Now, as always, wars are erupting all around the globe. Human want and misery are rife and omnipresent. And it seems as if even larger and more threatening conflicts loom as dark specters waiting to consume us. Now, as always, humankind seems unable to change or evolve. What in psychology is called a fixation. Always there is unhappiness and want, shortage and misery, and again, the immutable shadow hanging above and beneath all human endeavor, war. Why is mankind so very empty, eternally unhappy, and so very, very cruel? Why is he unable to evolve? I have found the answers to these things, and I will share that with you here. I will take you into my heart and show you our new future. This video presentation contains 3 parts. The first section will gently guide you through the first steps that will begin the human evolutionary process itself. There is a natural process and ability to change and evolve within you that has been hidden beneath threat and guilt. We will start to uncover that perfect basis, begin our life of new health, and change the way that reality is formed. The second section will invite you into a world of hidden scientific knowledge and disclose the exact ways we will end human want, misery, and unhappiness using new science to free us of pollution, shortage, and want. The third section will address utterly vital and pressing facts, which we will solve together in order to secure our worthy future. This recording is my gift of caring and warmth for you. Within this, we may be together, mend the broken places, and summon a new dawn of human hope. This is the gathering. Between us, we will create all things anew. For those of you who are interested in the science and details explaining and supporting the ideas which follow, I invite you to read The Answer, Roadmap for a New Humanity, and other video content defining human evolution and the transference. Before I welcome you into our new world, you must understand a little of how and why this is all possible. The basic imbalance which has created our broken, bloody human history of misery and war is based in threat. Threat fosters an imbalance between 2 circuits, their associated systems, and the brain chemicals released. And beneath that, our long history of human conflict, submission, and violence has left within our epigenetic DNA, the DNA which forms our responses to current situations, yet another piece of the puzzle and problem that is preventing human evolution. There is an entirely new human within you, waiting to evolve and create a new world out of each second of experience. To find and reveal that endemic process basis, you must understand that all of experience is given its quality by way of a hidden, unconscious dream. The dream beneath the impoverished reality of the modern human's world is a broken dream. His feeling of security is gone, replaced with dreams of power, submission, potency, and perversion. We will learn to dream again. We will place the basis of transformation itself, evolution itself, beneath experience. This transformative function, known as alpha function within intersubjective psychology, is based in particular circuitry, which is formed in the first 18 months of life. The neuroendocrine changes creating the circuits, the glandular and Nerve expressions are triggered by a primary impression. The impression of the mother's face in the exchange of gaze, touch, and glance. This impression is formed in part when the infant is not yet aware of the distinctions between himself and the world. Hence, the entire world is itself the mother's face, which is indistinct from himself. This identification with all the world, this triggering maternal impression, is the true basis of empathy. Identification with all the world as a responsive, connective part, a piece of oneself. There is an ethical basis within man. There is a transformative basis within humankind. Mankind is a being of light. The process creating our reality is called transference. The hidden dream beneath reality may be changed to reflect the maternal basis of safety, empathy, ethics, and security. And so, no law or moral code is ever needed. Only the empathetic basis which connects us to each other and all things is required. We may speak of a new human. We may speak of the end of guilt. Mankind has been hidden from himself, and in fact, his very basis is ethics. Ours is a world of warmth and endless change. In a word, ascension. There is no guilt. All which judges you is a lie. To change the transference and place transformation, evolution and ethic, pleasure, warmth, and happiness within all things, we must restore the lost feeling of safety and deep connection, and bring a healthy dream from long ago into the present within your unconscious mind. To replace the broken, cruel dream of threat and ruin, that substitution can only be achieved with symbolism, the language of the mind. The mind communicates in dreams using symbolism, and a dream we cannot see is always turning in the unconscious mind, creating the quality of reality. The mother means something very different to you now than she did before you were a year old. So we must call up the early feeling by way of its effective resonance using the language of the mind, symbolism. We will place the impression, which is itself empathy, and has formed the transformative circuitry in substitution for the broken dream within you. And so change the chemistry within the brain to reflect a satisfied and full state, filled with warmth and caring. Then, the healthy dream of safety and connection, transformation, and human promise will begin to take hold. And the epigenetic expression beneath the process allocations will change to one of health, and so we may evolve. Thoughts of our higher potentials and human fullness are expressed as images of light. The body is connected together by fields of coherent light composed of what are called biophotons, which appear quite distinctly to emanate from DNA itself, and brain structures called microtubules. Thoughts of light increase these biophoton expressions as they emanate from the head. All of the universe and mankind himself are an electromagnetic expression, an expression mediated by photons, by light. There is a physical basis beneath what many think of as spiritual processes. That basis is itself ethics. No rule is ever required. No threat is ever needed. Each moment is its own fulfillment, found within the connections between all things. To know that, to feel it, is to do good by necessity. Once freed, the basis of man becomes plain, caring, kindness, creation, and change. We are the children of light. Welcome. The gathering exists between us. So is our future spent and summoned here and now, as a thought gathered between the moments. I will enfold you within the breast of time, safe within its beating flow and retreat. Nothing can harm you. In this place, here with me, you are safe. For if no other place might be found, this cannot be taken from you. You are amongst us now. We are the children of light. Humanity is such a child as this. You have never left us, nor we you. I choose the poetry of such a name not by religious or social meaning. No. I choose it as it is what we are, and so it suits us. It is no deeper than that. The choice was one of essence. Our gathering will create something, a new human, at last released from its fearful glove of hiding, now singing in light and song. So easy and sweet is the spirit you are. Did you know that? I will show you. For guilt itself is the first sin. The race of man is ripe for offering, rich and florid with the fruits of ages. If only ungloved and peeled away, the dark petals teased apart to release the flower, so bashfully hidden. So it is with us and new happiness. I will give you several things. First, you may have a memory. Within the hidden thoughts of the mind is the first impression of human connection to all things and peoples. I will bring it toward the surface so it may nourish you. From there, the impediments to human development may be removed and change begun. This is the first memory of connection and warmth. It is from here, safe within this old place, that all new worlds must spring. Let my voice vanish, and only the rhythm remain. Deep within the ages, within the creases of distant memory, a moment preserved and nourishing, glowing, subtle and warm. A pulse amongst the coals of time, filling the salt moments with light and warmth. The ebb and motion. A tide washes and flows, unending, shifting and full. Unheard and ever-present is her breath. Stretching as time spread across the distant sands, under a purring sun of warmth spilled towards lapping waters. Sands glistening beneath the tide of breath. Here, in the first moments, here, you are safe. We are together. The beginnings of life in the human being are the fount of empathy and also of change, as a heartbeat within the connections between all things. To begin, simply imagine the following image and enter into it as if into a dream. This simple meditation, performed for 30 minutes or more, will begin to return to you what cruelty and the past have stolen. This is a symbolism of the events, the reciprocal exchange of gaze and glance, which initiated the neuroendocrine changes to form the sympathetic limbic OFC circuits in the primary impression of empathy. Please relax. Hear the water and listen to my voice. There is a meadow within the forest, surrounded by trees, stirring a distant breeze. The day is still and quiet. Listen to the shining brook, spilling itself over smooth rock and sand. Listen as it splashes so near the meadow. You are dreaming in the meadow, reclining in a still bed of folded grass and thick green moss. The day is sweet and warm. The breeze is a caress. The sound of bird song and clear silver water, laughing and trickling, wrap themselves around you and enfold you. The wooded valley holds you in the cup of tender morning light, spilling her heart of golden warmth upon you. The sun is pouring down upon your face, shining and warm. Golden and loving is this light, a light you are folded into and have created, shining, pouring back up into the arch of heaven, spilling up from your glad face, and again down to fill you. The trees nodding as you dream them, the sky golden and warm as you have poured it, and back around, for it has dreamt you, now as the world, of the world, nourished and warmed. The circle complete, a round of golden warmth and light, spilling into the world and returning again unto you, and again you unto it. And all the world is eternal, safe, nourished and nourishing, a circle of happiness pouring down and returning, warm and sweet, the circle glowing, life spilled round into warmth and golden light. I will note for you the symbolism, the exchange of gaze and glance within the triggering impression, which is the source of empathy, is reciprocal. The tender sun is around, spilling upon you and back upward, the connection to all the world, symbolized as a dream cast from within you. Within this moment, all things are nourished and dreamt. Each moment of experience is a piece of dream cast in part from the present, in part from the ages concealed. The image we have just shared will allow you to change your world and its meaning. Keep it in mind always, day and night, behind your thoughts. The brain circuitry with which it is associated permits transformation of pain and all of reality. Within the deepest human memories are the keys to reawakening the ability of the human animal to change and evolve. Fear and threat have kept this hidden from us. The inability of man to stop warring and wanting is solved thus. The future of man is found nested within the past, waiting to awaken. The dream we require, the future we need, has been prevented by a history of potent abuse and pain, leaving a sick dream ever repeating within the hidden mind of man. We shall find together as one that this pain has vanished, as the dream we now share contains within it the seeds of our new awakening. The human future has been concealed beneath a dream of blood and fear, endless and repeating. We will dream again and find that we are safe, free, changing, and limitless. We may find our name, the children of light. Each moment of experience is a piece of dream, cast in part from the present, in part from the ages concealed. The image we have just shared will allow you to change your world and its meaning. Keep it in mind always, day and night, behind your thoughts, as a spring always running. Here, in this sacred place, we may always be together. Pain may be transformed and become pleasure within the unfolding of our unity. Light transforms light. You are never alone. Next, I will tell you how our race has been trapped, fixated into a repeating dream of war and obedience, and how to change this. Authority, the domineering will of the Father throughout history, has left a dark stain of blood in the form of a dream turning away within the hidden mind of all men. The past keeping us forever ill, a dream of fear and blood, revenge and submission, cycling as human history, unseen and omnipresent within each man. To change the future of man and find the new pathway of hope, we may change the dream of a broken history. In physics experiments, wishes are seen to change physical systems and alter probability, to change luck. The past of man has cast his broken wishes for him in a sick dream, always calling to him an ill future. This need not be so. We may create a new dream and call to the race of man a new future. Experiments show wishes shared between many are more effective in turn as more contribute their feeling. Those wishes develop more temporal mass, as I have termed it. Physics demonstrates for us the effective, ethical, cooperative, empathetic basis of properly evolved human interaction as a function of connection of the kind wish. You may have a beautiful piece of dream which engenders this hope. I call this the nexus thought. We are within the tender meadow. Delicate winded ripples play among the tips of new meadow grass, and as a whisper, the sun splashes upon the silver brook beneath us. Hints of blossoms speckle gentle breeze, and all the world is cupped within each ripple of breath. Enfolded intricacies whisper, shifting as delicate hands, weaving light and shadow. A dappled brook splashes up amongst the shadows. Within the palm of time, we are sheltered. So beautiful to you, as a liquid jewel, pure and perfect, running in silver, painting the rounded stones with silver cool, your clear skin of light as a stream running over cool stone, laughing. Look and see the river of time, silver and slipping, cool and light. Bubbles speak and retreat amongst the cool shadowed noon of our beginning. Each twig is bathed in light, cracked ice solved in yellow gold. The leaves of fall tugged loose to paint time's tender curtain in crimson and gold. So sweet and warm is this evening, cool upon the heat of day. Each second pours ever richer, ever thicker with light, as melt glass flows stretching and warm within each shadow and leaf. Golden and round, clear and full, look out and behold. Each aged maple's lofty crown stirred by an unseen wind, each slipping stream of bright rippled mirror, each shifting wave of tasseled meadow grass, the sweet earth under the melting heart of her yellow noon, the first nook of heaven as she tastes the rouge of dawn, the sheltered sky over each flourishing bounty bestowed and nurtured beneath, each creature basking beneath the arching warmth of a golden sun stretches, languishes before you, warm and full, grateful, waiting. Each moment opens itself so you may sweetly fill it with gratitude and warmth. Each living thing is within you, bathed in warmth beneath the purring sun. The world fills you, warm within your beating breast, enfolded and enfolding life. It is a thought of gratitude which will change the destiny of mankind. Now, I will read you a story which will nourish you, and once again, increase the energies of the primary impression of empathy, and hence transformation, and our inborn, effortless ethic of energetic expression. This is called connection. Oh, my child, come here. I must speak with you and show you the world. The day is warm, and we might see each thing and understand it. Frederick was a kind father. He seldom spoke above a whisper. His eyes hid the spark of tender wisdom within them. And on a day such as this, it was released and fell into all things. Jacob was a young boy of 7, and his restless heart tugged to go play within the emerald wood and hide amongst its cool shadows of scented wind. His father looked upon him in the day and spoke. I promise we will walk in a moment. Here, oh, I can see it is of no use. We will walk immediately. Ah, the boy's eyes sparkled as his, and he knew. He struck the chord rightly, for this was a day for the song of life, a sparkling wine one cannot resist, capricious and light with chance. Into the damp morning which lay concealed within the tender cupped shadows and its web of tangled light, they did travel. Frederick, but young once more, filled with the liquor of light's essence, he began. Look into the deepest corner of shadow there. Can you see something moving above the head of each branch, so dark here within the webbed shadows? Silent as a shadow's breath, they did peer, breathing but hardly, and in the still, the first ray of light did slip through the uppermost arch of sheltered sky, and the young one beheld with sharp young eyes what wisdom did sense with ease. An owl fell as a flake of snow in gloved silence, as smoke falling, soundless and distant, falling closer and then away, soundless and majestic as the sound of breath held, falling amongst the first shadowed tangle of cool morning. Father, how did you know? I could hardly see it. Shh. Can you feel it? Imagine, sweet one. I do not know. I am. I feel. You already know this, but in silence is magic made naked before us, and then we may learn. A magic gift is not a gift, nor magic, but an uncovering of what is. I am. Here. I ask you in silence. Do not reply, simply answer by doing. Of the sight you saw, can you feel it? And in silence he did think upon, and within the moment of silence, of flight, and was within it, yes, Father, I can. A smile warmed within him to know it was true. The boy understood. He felt that which he saw, and was part of it. You please me greatly, my son. Here, let us walk. And into the deeper forest, where dawn was finally breaking the web of fingered shadows, the world began to glow from within. Over the distant hillside, through the branches, they saw a flicker, and Frederick moved towards it slowly, easily, picking his way through the tangled brush, knowing as if by sure knowledge what he might find. Into the clearing they did travel and sit in warm meadow grass, swimming in noon summer, the cool tangle of branch and shadow left behind. His eye did gaze, and the youngers follow, and then the doe did venture, unaware of them, her tender hoof silent amongst the soft moss at the forest's edge. And in a look of love silently cast, the boy did understand his father's meaning. For within a glance is the fullness of 1,000 volumes. Within feeling's tender glove, the boy did find himself within the doe and knew her. And he found that she was made warm and affirmed by his feeling. Somehow this must be true, and he spoke of it. Father, I did find myself as the doe and within it, and now I feel somehow that I love it and know it, and have filled the animal so tender and kind with warmth. Is this right? This is the higher knowledge. You are a man of tender years, but a man. We are becoming very much alike, small one. His eyes were swimming in tears. Then the breath of happiness again spent its sparks, and he did speak. Now, that is within and that which is without are one. This is true. Open your heart, your feeling, and allow the world within you to fill you, and you it, as you did the doe. And within the moment's spending, the world did unfold within his open heart, and did fill him, and he did pour within all things, each tender shadow and branch, each hillside and rolling curve, the tempestuous sea, the winds of storm and cool, the deserts and animals within the forest, and all the creatures in land were within him, and did fill him as he did return unto them, all which he was. Now the twig of snapping youth broken, the streams running and flowing over the tender bank did fill him, and know him, and were themselves affirmed. In silence they did return to the world, and were within that which they did see. Now of the world within and without are but song, verse made real and spilled into light, and back round to fill knowledge. So is wisdom but love and caring, the light and marrow which fills and connects all things. Nothing is separate. We are all children of light. I have some splendid news for you. The problems of mankind are solved. Human want and suffering are a thing of the past. The technology and science are here, now, and what is not can easily be obtained through research into areas I will specify. The physical difficulties of mankind, from the scourge of pollution and the need for abundant, cheap, clean energy, to his medical difficulties and their related suffering, have been solved. And so, the immeasurable toll of human misery is now, or soon will be, swiftly ended. The age of human misery is gone. As a man who is passionate about the elimination of illness and deprivation, I have discovered specific pieces of science which will solve the problems of humanity, and in some cases existent technology and theory which has already been applied and brought to fruition in order to accomplish the seemingly impossible and cheaply bring us clean energies and fuels. I am quite entirely certain the illusion of human want and misery we see all around us is a sad reality held in place through the suppression of medical and physical science. I will reveal the suppressed information here and announce the end of human misery may be found in but short moments, to openly acknowledge and look into these places, into these areas. If only a small portion of what I have discovered in the sciences is found to be applicable, my claims will be proven out. I will avoid technical discussion and refer all those interested to papers and references presented at the end of this section and in the associated literature. The reason you are not already aware of what I am about to disclose to you is that the information has been suppressed and hidden by those who would and do make astounding profits through maintaining the status quo, as well as other concealment due to the covert practices of government agencies. The human and environmental tolls of pollution and the limits placed upon our future development through dependence upon costly resources are enormous. The specter of want looms as a dread shadow, covetous of the future. It need not be so. The physical sciences are riddled with errors and assumptions, which, once corrected, lead us toward a future of abundance and plenty, unhindered by excessive greed or costs. First, I will discuss a new molecular species and then present clear facts concerning the actual hadronic structure of the neutron. These suppressed facts concerning clean fuels and the neutron were discovered by a physicist named Santilli. Do not believe the lies spread concerning this science, lies designed to hide the future of mankind itself. Here, within this one approach to creating clean burning fuels, we see the answer to pollution and a new source of cheap, plentiful fuel made from waste chemicals or even sewage. possessing the energetic qualities of gasoline. This fuel actually produces oxygen in the exhaust products remaining after combustion. Only one question is of value: does the science work? All else is distraction. At between 50 cents and $1 a gallon equivalent cost, no catalytic converter is needed to exceed emission requirements. And we see oxygen after fuel combustion within the exhaust products. All this magic happens by way of a new molecular species called the magnecule. Magnecular science is broad and inclusive. It is explanatory of many physical phenomena which have eluded traditional approaches, such as providing us a clear explanation of the hydrogen bond within the study of the physics of aqueous systems, as we will see later. So, the first piece of good news is magnecular fuels, which are currently being produced. The public must demand that this science is used to its fullest extent, and these advantages made available. Energy independence and the end of pollution itself might be fostered through the application of this burgeoning new science, where waste chemicals, crude oil, or even sewage may be used to produce clean burning, cheap and plentiful magnecular fuels. Please request scientific proof. All which you hear proclaiming the urgent need to destroy the beautiful, delicate earth for energy and the filth of oil is simply a lie. Money and greedy deception have concealed this promise. There never need be even one more vile oil well set into the tender earth again. The time of ugly pain and sick want is over. Next, you should know that there are many falsehoods within physics and medicine. I will choose just one further example within physics. We will discuss very briefly the neutron. There are no quarks within a neutron. That is false. To know that could allow us yet another way to create clean power and perhaps end the problem of nuclear waste itself. Please see the references at the end of this section and within the associated literature. And know, this is a neutron. The hadronic structure is that of an electron bound within a proton, not that of quarks. We may then, with that knowledge, create clean nuclear fuels called hadronic fuels, and perhaps put an end to nuclear waste itself using stimulated neutron decay. Please see the references for details concerning Santilli's hadronic science and chemistry. The future is here, now. Let us demand that it be realized rather than suppressed. Also, I will refer you to work which is closely associated with Tesla that contains a new solution to the equations of Maxwell that has been suppressed and concealed. If you enjoy science, please do examine it. Within this concealed science, you will find the end of human want itself, waiting to be uncovered. How little work is needed to hold in your hand Tesla's dream. I have found it for you, the pathway leading to unlimited power with no pollution. Only a little work and research needs to be done to complete what should have already been the province of mankind for some 70+ years. Clean, pollution-free, unlimited energy. Let the suppression end now. Next, you must be made aware of the fact that Big Pharma itself, the drug companies themselves, are in charge of medical science in terms both of its legitimate publication and its funding. The entire of medical science is long cast under the shadow of deep and profound corruption. How shocked I was as a believer in this science to discover the river of blood and money which supports the medical sciences. The deaths which sustain it are all but incalculable. I will reveal the hope it is concealed here. Let the new day begin. Cancer was first cured by technical means in 1934. Cancer has long been cured. Death has been allowed to run rampant, consuming us for the love of money. Money, no more disgusting or divisive pursuit can be conceived. The object of all lower appetites is filth, money, mark of the inferior. I will speak briefly here of the suppressed cures. Royal Raymond Rife first cured cancer in 1934, as well as many other diseases. The equipment and science were seized, concealed, and or destroyed. Man's reputation, the supreme benefactor of mankind, humanity's true genius, much as that of Benveniste and now Montaigne, was falsely disgraced, and the work ruined, to create misery and pain for all of our race, and of course, great profit for a few. Now, years later, millions profit from these crimes, within entire industries created to treat, at great pain and expense, diseases which have long been cured. You will find reference to my recommendations and deductions concerning the best and fastest way to recreate the work of Rife at the end of this presentation. End the suppression and blood lies. Let us follow these recommendations and cure cancers again for but pennies. Here, in the 7 million or so deaths a year from the suppression of this one bit of science, we see true crime. Let us answer this state of misery and subjugation immediately and end the pain and suffering. This can indeed be easily and quickly accomplished. How simple and bright is our future. The time of human suffering has ended. Next, you should be aware of the facts concerning informational allocations within aqueous systems as they produce drug effects. Information electromagnetically derived from drugs, entirely apart from the chemical molecules of the drug. The information alone, once placed within an aqueous medium, acts just as the drug from which it was derived. The implications are staggering. My team and associates have conducted experiments and affected cancer cells and resistant pathogens, which respond as if they have been exposed to differentiating agents and antibiotics, although they have not. Electromagnetically derived molecular information could replace expensive toxic drugs. All, the rich and the poor alike, would benefit. We are currently researching dopamine information as it may help depression and Parkinson's patients, and informational narcotics to treat chronic pain and addiction with no drugs, but with molecular information alone. Cheap and effective, non-toxic and safe drug effects. This approach uses the physics of biology, water, and the human body alongside information theory to replace drugs themselves. No more toxins or high costs. Please see the last section of this presentation and literature for the actual science and understand the details for yourself. This must be developed and our new day summoned. Lastly, I will speak of the suppression of the pharmacology derived of cannabis. Cannabis was a foundational medication and foodstuff throughout our human history. Our supreme benefactor, cannabis, provider of fuel oil, methanol, cloth and paper, medicine, and healthful protein. This mainstay of human pharmacopoeia was made illegal behind the back of the AMA with lies and tricks, to the benefit of industry and to the detriment of the forests and the earth. A criminal deception set up between government, big oil and banks, alongside profit-seeking by DuPont, looking toward future paper production from acid-bleached tree pulp. This suppression of cannabis for paper made from trees, synthetic fiber and oil, spelled the death of the forests and left disease to run rampant. The historical, medical, and pharmacological details are in my books, Future's Mirror and The Answer. Cannabis was made illegal with lies and legal tricks. As this was happening in the 30s, the fact was already clear. This plant contains within it amazing curative powers. It cures and treats diseases, including cancers. I researched thousands of technical papers. I located the methods of cure, crude yet apparently effective, and have supplemented them with further technical analysis. Let the suppression end now. Read Future's Mirror, read The Answer, and know. In those books, you can see hundreds of studies, deep detail down to the level of our human genetics and nervous structures. Look far back into 1.2 billion years of evolutionary depth and phylogenetic influence, which created this patient miracle. And know, cancers and many other diseases may be cheaply and effectively treated using these exact methods. This is our human evolutionary promise made real, ripe, and ready as man for a future. The evolution of man has been wrongly hidden beneath lies and suppression. Here, my friend, look into my eyes and know it is true. The time of human want, suffering, and misery has ended. So, as you can see, our future is bright. The problems of our race and times have ended. We may end the human fixation with war, fill up the emptiness within mankind, and provide for his needs. We may end the guilt which has trapped our race and ascend. Effortless and weightless is the future. Within our very essence is a pure heart. Ethics themselves are the very center of our being, for we are connection to all things, feeling and warmth. It is in warmth and kindness that our ascension begins. A filling up of all empty places, free and guiltless, is our beginning and our present. Heaven is now. How deeply I do care for you. I will shelter you and again speak our name. We are the children of light. This whisper is more than mere poetry, for there are others who are not as we. You must be made aware of certain truths and help me. Please listen. We must face and defeat darkness. Darkness and light. What do I mean by these bits of poetry? Light is life, the life force, eros, energy and warmth, that which is open and giving, that which has no secrets and openly welcomes all toward its tender breast. Darkness is that which seeks to harm, conceal, control, and murder. The death drive. Light is eros. Darkness is death. Concealed, turning, and weak. Death hides within folded shadows, lurking and vile, slippery as the lie. I have found it and clearly see how to rightly defeat it. Do not be afraid. We must first look upon the crimes to defeat them. First, we'll speak of geoengineering, the spraying of poisons upon and the irradiation of all living things. We live in a new age, the age of hypercrime. Think of the Nazis and their crimes as an upper bound, a limit to the term crime. Past this point, we see a new sort of supercrime, crime over the limits of crime itself. Criminality so severe and deadly, so fantastically cruel and effective, it deserves a new name, hypercrime. Geoengineering is hypercrime, crime well in excess of the Holocaust, the killing of all things. I will prove this to you. I invite you to read The Answer, Roadmap for a New Humanity, and the text associated with this video series for further details, citations, and additional proof. Technology has been deployed, which has poisoned all living things upon this tender sphere we call Earth with toxic metals, and allowed radiation to bathe the Earth's delicate surface. The technology conceals damage caused by and is part of an illegal weapons system. This is the cause of global temperature increase, a weapons system, and the technology used to conceal its effects, including deadly radiations blocked through the production of toxic metal-infused clouds. Ionospheric heaters burn the tender sky. Satellite systems produce microwaves and heat. And in plain fact, elaborate weather-related weapons technology is now already long in place, and the result is plain: death. Human death and the death of nature, such as I hypothesize for good reason, the dead Great Barrier Reef, the poisoned oceans, or in human terms, the many deadly cases of Alzheimer's in England. Please see the literature for details. Unless we address this, your children have no chance. If the present rate of radiation increase continues forward unabated, it is estimated that in 7 years, life on Earth will begin to suffer the last contractions of pain and soon be extinguished. This technology was deployed in secret. All the world is now infused with toxins, aluminum chief among them. Autism, cancers, bone diseases, Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, dementia. I will now present evidence and encourage you to read the related texts closely. First, you may see evidence of the toxins sprayed upon us. This is the result of a test of fresh water left out for a week. Note the many metals collected entirely from the air. I live in the woods, far from any industry. However, planes spray toxins upon my family: coal, fly ash, industrial waste. And those toxins are cumulative, now measurable in substantial quantity. The weapons concealed are illegal. Plasma weapons which surreptitiously poison all the world with ionizing radiation and metals against U.S. and international law. You may see the radiation readings. Please note, UVC radiation should never be on the Earth's surface. It should be stopped at around 35 kilometers atmospheric height via ozone interactions. New readings of 60 have been obtained in winter on the 8th of February 2018, then 68 on the 26th of February, then 72 in mid-March, 77 the 10th of April, and then 87 in late April. The above UVC reading is from fall, indicating ongoing ozone damage. This massive damage has just been confirmed in a large study. Next, you may see evidence of the worldwide nature of this hypercrime. You should understand The contaminants used to create cloud and other effects have been proven quite exactly, proven to a 99% confidence interval to be cheap, toxic industrial waste. Coal, fly ash. Please see the references cited in the accompanying text. Lead, cesium, aluminum, strontium, barium, thallium, which is rat poison, and toxic fluoride are all contained in fly ash. This crime has poisoned many continents and claimed the last years of countless lives. To have found it over my home and observed the effects and resultant illness in myself and my family inspired me to identify the contaminants, a job, as it turns out, that was already accomplished by a fine scientist named J. Marvin Herndon, whose work is often suppressed as it proves an airtight case against the U.S. government, which is clearly committing crimes against humanity. Please see the accompanying materials. These poisons mimic normal aging. This poisonous devil's trick takes the last years of life. I conclude we see one of the largest crimes ever perpetrated. Considering at Los Angeles 3.976 million population and San Diego 1.407 million population, we may estimate a conservative total of over 5 million people. Let us reduce the likely 20 years of life taken from each citizen to 10, and find a conservative figure of 50 million years of life stolen by geoengineering in just those two cities. The contaminant analysis is at 99% confidence interval. To consider the demonstrated worldwide population effects, I, being of Jewish descent, deduce this is a crime against humanity larger than that of the Nazis. Hypercrime. Now we know why Alzheimer's dementia is the #1 killer in England. Again, I will closely note that the biome, meaning life on Earth, has 7 years remaining at this rate of radiation increase before it is burned away. Do not fear. I will show you how we may right this and claim our beautiful future. I will not allow this to harm the Earth or you. But first, we must consider another hypercrime. The very most precious of all gifts bestowed upon the present are the riches of the past. Self-evolving and rich in history, ours is the most fortunate and beautiful of all promises. Our genes contain gods and goddesses, archetypes and learning. The treasure of eons is within us, waiting for the next piece of the puzzle to complete. Evolution is but reflection of time's perfect wisdom. Each moment is but a ripple upon her perfect, patient depths. Evolution, the mirror of ages. No more exquisite thing can be conceived than the intricate enmeshment of poetry and design, a delicate web drifting in tangled breeze, shimmering in reflection upon rippled waters, a silver question wavering and intricate, each thread ripe with patient purpose and beauty. Ripe is she, this child of ages. Within the present an image stretches, a hand and palm, upturned to welcome and nourish. In kindness, so is the bounty time is cast but the dust of eons, as time crumbles but the hollow sand, within which the root of all perfect worlds is struck. So is her magic but the virtue of the most delicate threads of patience. The shores of time are rich with treasure. Oh, it is true. Here, listen to only a short bit of the list of diseases treatable and even curable with a single plant, cannabis. And know the amazing gifts of evolution and the precious genetics which hold her delicate treasures. Cannabis treats or cures allergic conditions, asthma, autism, bipolar disorder, brain trauma, cholesterol, cystic fibrosis, dermatitis, dystonia, fibromyalgia, GERD, herpes, MRSA, ALS, Alzheimer's disease, arthritis, arteriosclerosis, breast cancer, cervical cancer, colorectal cancer, glioma, leukemia, liver cancer, lung cancer, lymphoma, melanoma, neuroblastoma, oral cancer, pancreatic cancer, prostate cancer, squamous cell carcinoma, thyroid cancer, colitis, depression, diabetes, epilepsy and seizures. It offers heart protections and positive effects on HIV, as well as Parkinson's disease. The most precious of all gifts is the perfection of time's eternal unfolding. DNA, so complex and parsimonious, so rich with the patient gifts of ages, bestowed unto this moment. This is the richest gift of life, her past made present. Life itself, the most intricate tapestry of design. DNA. A few dark facts. In 1969, Dr. Robert McMahon of the Department of Defense requests from Congress $10 million to develop within 5 to 10 years a synthetic biological agent to which no natural immunity exists. In 1970, funding for the synthetic biological agent is indeed obtained under Order H.R. 15090. The project, under the supervision of the CIA, is carried out by the Special Operations Division at Fort Detrick, the Army's top secret biological weapons facility. Speculation is raised that molecular biology techniques are used to produce AIDS like retroviruses. In 1970, the United States intensifies its development of ethnic weapons. Please see Military Review, November 1970, designed to selectively target and eliminate specific ethnic groups who are susceptible due to genetic differences and variations in DNA. In 1975, the virus section for Fort Detrick Center for Biological Warfare Research is renamed the Frederick Cancer Research Facilities and placed under the supervision of the National Cancer Institute. It is here that a special virus cancer program is initiated by the U.S. Navy, purportedly to develop a cancer-causing virus. It is also here that retrovirologists isolate a virus to which no immunity exists. It is later named HTLV, human T-cell leukemia virus. Now, it has been admitted, they've done it. Gene splicing and gene drive technology are being and have been funded by the military. Ebola has now been engineered into an airborne transmittable pathogen, and undoubtedly there is far worse, which is under this dark seal of secrecy. The death drive. Darkness has claimed the tapestry of life itself. They have mutilated DNA. And with a gene drive, deadly or pathogenic changes can be forced through, and entire species or perhaps races can be eliminated in a single generation, and or wretched diseases created and unbearable suffering brought to the race of man. These weapons mutilate and kill life. Darkness. Unchanging and unable to resist himself, man tends the vat ever thicker with the broth of threatened blood. In peace is war a tender keeper? intermixed and vile is the lie, always craving itself, cutting into the heart of itself, festering and rich with greed, gladly drinking the blood of wounds rent into the side of the future. Plains stretch across a pure sky and spread money in industry's bowels, thick and rotten, to infect each living thing from within. How deeply profitable is tragedy. Each plain brings wartime's bounty, pressed from the blood and bone. Rich is her necrotic spoil. Bombs shelter us from war. Glowing and impatient are they for bursting. Never before have so many been busily prepared, each now twice potent in its permanence of destruction. Time ticks and looks, waiting. She is wondering, her brow furrowed, for the tinkering ape has not gone so far as this until now. Now it has placed its hands upon the delicate fields which surround the earth. Long ago had he sprung into the cold air of space from the fields of earth's grassy meadow. Long defiled. Now here he slips his filthy hands around a sacred thing, to control it, to burn it, so it will be broken before him. He does not care that this delicate promise he burns and cuts is what sustains him. Darkness can only be defeated with light. I will show you how. You must help me. The entire of darkness is itself weakness, a hiding, lying, and concealing. We will defeat it with the blade of light. Truth. We are light. We will bring light to each dark corner and burn it clean. Light, that which is open and never lies or conceals. We are a blade which may cut through darkness and bring light to the sunken places. Our knife is truth. We will command and bring light to all corners of dark greed. Light spilling over the sunken places to cleanse them. I have begun. I will tell you how you may help me. Help me to claim our tender world and keep her safe. In this we may earn our perfect future and begin a new day. For our heaven is this place, so perfect and right, swept from valley to hillside in emerald light. So is our deepest right and our sacred future. You must help me. I have raised the blade, and now the international and criminal courts have been informed, and each member of the Senate has received a letter and my detailed analysis of the crimes for which they are themselves directly responsible. And also, I have sent them the answers to those same difficulties that they themselves have created. I have now published in major news outlets the following letter, which each member of the Senate has received. I have shed light upon the crimes and held the guilty responsible. Within the letter each senator received were these words, words of light. Dear Senator, this letter and book are provided to inform you of severe and ongoing crime and to offer solutions. The government of which you are a part has poisoned and irradiated my family and the entire globe under the auspices of long-deployed geoengineering. See contaminant analysis at 99% confidence interval in text provided, and also find other proof pertaining to radiation increase. The government of which you are a part has developed genetic weapons, as has been admitted. Please see solutions for problems in text provided. Ask for new chemistry to replace ozone destroyed by illegal plasma weapons, so as to avert environmental catastrophe. The media will now be contacted. You are to give the following speech or be held accountable within the public arena. I wish to inform the American public and my colleagues in government alike that geoengineering is a long-standing and illegal practice which is poisoning the mass of humanity. I hereby state that I will do all in my power to stop it. I state here that these crimes will stop here, now, on my watch. I also hereby state my opposition to all genetic and biological weapons which are murderous, illegal, and cruel beyond any measure. All genetic weapons and biological weapons will be destroyed at once. I look upon you and state plainly, this is a command. This is not a debate. These are crimes. I hereby state that even the slightest delay constitutes a full-fledged crime against humanity, punishable as such. Geoengineering has killed millions, and I will stop it myself, here and now. Thank you for your time. Rich Norman. I have informed these politicians of their responsibility and clear guilt, plainly stated before the public which they harm, a public that elects them. This is the blade of light. Truth, plainly spoken to all without fear or reserve. The way you can help me is simple. You may help me build the blade of light. I cannot do it alone. We must inform each human, man, woman, and child alike, in gentle tones, so they may hear us. The blade of light is not a blade as such. It is information no longer concealed. It is knowledge revealed and open love of this earth, our precious, moist home of deepest promise. Let us cherish her and in gentle hands nurture and nourish our perfect future. We must use the blade and expose in clear light what was concealed. Only this will end darkness. Light. Each corner of the globe must know these things are happening and know these politicians have been informed and so must be held deeply accountable. I have sent hundreds of books and derived the correct solutions. I have sent information concerning ozone repair using new chemistry to the entire upper staff of the Department of Defense. I have sent indictments to international criminal courts. I have set the blade. Now I need you to help me apply it. Information. Information must be made available to all. Light. This will defeat them and win our world. Then all the public will know these politicians have been informed and directly held to account, and so they may lose their jobs if they do not obey. All must know of the concealed poisoning of the earth, and then they may band with us. We may stop it. Darkness is concealed and weak. We must spill light, information, and truth freely as water pours from a heavy cloud unbound. Light as hammering rain, truth and plain fact pouring down to cleanse the darkness. The blade of light has two parts. The first part is free information you may read and distribute. Please shower all those you know with freedom and hope. Let our knowledge that the age of pain and want has ended spread as waves across water and become real. I have prepared free books, specific cures and working ideas, analyses, solutions, details concerning the crimes and answers to all the problems of man. Then books of simple verse and beautiful art with the message. Free text associated with this video and free versions of this video. All my work is available without cost, as is right and giving. Please distribute it and let all the world know the future is bright, should we have courage and caring enough to summon it. Secondly, hundreds of ads must be run to inform each member of the public and so hold our leaders responsible. Materials must be sent to many nations and world leaders. Science must be advanced that will help mankind end its suffering and want. I have established a publicly transparent fund, the Blade of Light. The information and science is ready. And now I must inform everyone, bring the new human potential forward and put an end to these deceptions. An open accounting will be made of each penny. All proceeds will go entirely toward the production and dissemination of information to all the globe. And then toward the advancement of new science to benefit humanity. All no profit. I will take nothing. Each cent will be a matter of public record. Only light. All the papers and media will soon bear the words of kindness and the open knowledge of what was once concealed. Books will be in the hands of all who will read them, and the message of our fact, the fact of a new, evolving human and a burgeoning earth free from want, pollution, and war, will be known. Who could resist summoning such a future? Let the age of human misery end. Let our message of warmth and caring, a message of ascension toward a gentle future, be known and made real. Only light will defeat darkness, open and spilling, never concealed. Please distribute the information and assist me. Help me build the blade of light. Then I may take it in hand, and with you, we may summon our worthy future. Help me to win us our new day under a perfect blue sky, sweet, warm, and welcoming, within a kind, nurturing sun. Look upon this vision, the vision of an ascending future, free from want, safe, at peace, in an honest world, open and bright with feeling. Stand with me and let us proclaim, it will be. Help me to preserve this precious earth. Let all know and freely speak of these things, then act in kindness. Let us nurture this earth as she has cared for us in turn. It is in light, truth, and caring which will answer a crooked darkness. As butter drawn in yellow golden sun, now warm, sweet, and running, so shall we defeat darkness and find our home. We are the children of light. Within fetid darkness, mute and thick, turning upon itself, I am there. Each breath pulled, sunken in the dirty pit of hollow doubt, knows me. As a black fist knots around the tender throat of moments, I am there, for I am light. Hear me within the creases of poison wind, so I may unfurl them, and within tender palm hold you. Hands and palms pressed sweet amongst the moments, warm and full are the seconds cast between us, for we are light. And of what does endings dank fear? Of what is darkness crippled, and of sparked flint shattered? Your breast pressed to mine, it is this which they fear. I am light. I am nothing, twice vanished into wind. We are within all things, nourishing and full are the moments to know we are light. All which crouches within creased folds may fear me. All which opens before each question will know me. All which is may be affirmed in warmth, for I am light. Within each moment, amongst the glistening threads of time's first whispers, each drop round and sweet, perched upon full lips, waiting no longer. It is this which they fear, the ringing sound of laughter. Our name, may they hear it shine and know us, for it is we that darkness fears. Deep, bright, and round are we, full to bursting and sweet in warmth is spirit. Oh, how I do love you, singing and broken open. Chips of spark and light pierce the sunken places to know I am light. Let our name ring out, clear and bright, our all shining worlds, sprung anew before us, glad and sparkling, nestled as tears and dew upon the cheek of time. So are we. For time is ripe and wise within us, yielding within our sacred wish a future. Summoned within drops of light, purring and sultry, full and rich in singing sound. For all things are ours. Each breath enfolds the seconds, ever richer, rich and beating within my eye. I am free, a vanishing motion, the curtain unfolded, for I am you. I am light.